From my extreme left is Dr. David Parenga. He's a political member in the health department. Next to him is, of course, the spokesperson of the party, Patrice Chinamasa. He's also a political member. And next to him is Michael Veria Chisema, Comrade Chisema. He's a political member. He's head of the health department and in the political. Then, of course, next to me, seated, is the Director General of the party. His name is Comrade Tito. Without wasting much of your time, may I leave this time to Comrade Chinamasa to give us the brief. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Comrade Mugwadi, and I want to welcome our fourth estate who have come to grace this occasion this afternoon. I am going to read out a statement to you endorsing the tightening of the lockdown measures. Thereafter, I welcome questions on the statement and also on other related issues or areas where you are itching to ask for clarity and direction from ZANU-PF. So allow me to start reading the statement. ZANU-PF endorses. Sorry.
Sorry for that.
Rub out what it photographed. ZANU-PF endorses the fresh directive declared by His Excellency, the President, Comrade E.D. Mnangagwa, to tighten the lockdown measures is a direct response to the spiking positive cases of COVID-19 and the rising cases of deaths. The party fundamentally takes pride in the President's wisdom and the expertise of our health personnel, whose efforts in handling the cases thus far has been priceless despite efforts to weaponize them into unnecessary job actions in this critical time. The measures pronounced by His Excellency the President and Commander-in-Chief of our Defense Forces, which have taken effect this morning, are the most relevant and accurate given the nature of the pandemic which we in the world are battling to contain. Indeed, the first round of lockdown measures reduced the spread of the disease effectively, a situation that saw our cases averaging between 13 and 25, with the number of deaths having remained at a standstill at 4 until early June. The President had already hinted that the winter was poised to be a difficult period for the nation, in as far as this pandemic is concerned, given that it has been scientifically proven to be very vicious in cold environments. The President, following advice from health experts and in response to the plight of our people, most of whom are in the informal sector, had however loosened the lockdown measures to level 2. This was meant to allow people to engage in some of those informal as well as formal activities to provide for their families, albeit on condition that social distancing, wearing of face masks, and sanitizing, that is washing of hands, were still being observed. However, it must be understood that some elements in our society began to abuse these relaxations, which resulted in the sudden spiking of positive cases. Although the bulk of the cases were among the returnees from Asia, Europe, America, and surrounding African countries, the increase in locally transmitted cases had also become a serious cause for concern. ZANU-PF therefore applauds the President and our government for this noble and informed decision of tightening lockdown regulations. We implore Zimbabweans to desist from being deliberately and readily available to be misled by merchants or propaganda, fake news peddlers, and sworn enemies of the state who have suddenly gone into an overdrive to disinform and misinform our people by insinuating that we have a military curfew. We do not have a military curfew, but a lockdown curfew on top of other measures which the President has declared. Those who violate those regulations will have themselves to blame. Members of the party, that is of ZANU-PF, must help educate communities on what these measures entail without violating them, as well as because no one is above the law. Despite our economic challenges, we pride in the world as one of the most educated and literate nations, owing to our robust education system. We therefore take this opportunity to challenge Zimbabweans to read, discern, and apply their mind before they quickly endorse fake news as facts. Fighting COVID-19 is a generational task that our young people, the elderly, health workers, students, media, politicians, artists, those in the diaspora, business, and all sober-minded Zimbabweans must rally society to battle so that we can emerge victorious as a nation together, united under the leadership of our President, Comrade E.D. Mnangagwa. ZANU-PF reminds the nation that this is not the first virus or pandemic to confront the world and to leave a trail of devastating effects economically and socially. Between 1918 and 1919, the world was confronted by a deadly Spanish influenza that killed over 50 million globally, 50 million people globally. The most affected nations then was the United States, as is the case with COVID-19 currently. Those who took the correct measures won the war against the pandemic with lesser fatalities. Leaders were called names, but later on, when the battle against the influenza was won, they were hailed as good leaders. ZANU-PF hereby hails President E.D. Mnangagwa and the government for the bold decision, conscious of the fact that naysayers and prophets of doom will always seek to undermine this stance taken by our leadership to protect the people of Zimbabwe from this pandemic. They will call the President and all of us all sorts of names, but let it be made clear at this juncture that no amount of noise making will break the resolve and boldness of President E.D. Mnangagwa and his entire leadership. ZANU-PF is alert to the fact that when this pandemic knocked on our doors, our detractors earmarked us to succumb to COVID-19 and postulated wrongly that this pandemic was going to leave unburied, I repeat, unburied corpses rotting in the streets. They were so confident because of the manner in which the same sanctions, same detractors have incapacitated the system through illegal sanctions. So they thought they would have their day because they were aware of the effects of illegal sanctions on our health delivery system. And so they postulated that we would basically have unburied corpses rotting in our streets. However, our leadership has steered us this far and rendered those false prophecies and devil's wishes unfulfillable. ZANU-PF is also alive to the fact that some of these detractors, through their embassies, had already started to incite their proxies and stooges in the evil society to engage in a demonstration and violate the already existing regulations so that our cases could become unbearable. As ZANU-PF, we speak with a bold no. We will not stand and fold our hands watching while hostile forces organize to put our people at risk. No. ZANU-PF fought for everyone so that we live peacefully and coexist. Even as we differ on the developmental discourse, ZANU-PF will never allow our people to be manipulated by neo-colonial elements in our midst, to engage in dangerous and unbridled political theatrics and risk spreading or contracting COVID-19. No. An emphatic no. It's high time those planning violence know that this country has authorities and there is no vacuum, I repeat, no vacuum or vacancy at any level of those authorities. From the lowest level of authority to the presidency, there is no vacuum, there is no vacancy. There is an authority, and that authority is constitutional. Let that be known unambiguously. End of my statement. I now invite any questions on this statement and on any other issues that you may think you want to raise with me. Thank you very much. Over to you, Comrade.
Yes, thank you very much, Comrade Spokesperson. What's the key word? There's no vacuum in terms of authority in this country, from the lowest level to the upper, that is to the office of the president. Let that be known unambiguously. So, it's an opportunity for you to provide questions. Identify your names. I can see some of the names, but because of this new normal, it's quite very difficult to identify them. I can see my sister Arusha said the other colleague, am I correct? Yes, you can proceed, my brother. Thanks very much.
Acting spokesperson, sir. Opposition party.
I thought you would identify yourself.
Cyrus Narao Jazeera.
Al Jazeera. You are now at Al Jazeera.
I've always been Nagaba waiters for that.
Oh, okay.
Opposition parties are saying the government would want to use Corona as an excuse to clamp down on any political discourse in the country, including demonstrations which have been planned for the 31st of July.
That's what they say, but all of us, we are very educated people. What are the facts on the ground? The facts on the ground, which are not controverted, is that there is a worrying spike in coronavirus cases. Is that not a fact? We have had our deaths jumping from 4 within a matter of week or so, from 4 to what they are. Doesn't that worry even the opposition? If they are not worried, it means they have no concern about the welfare of the people. Only people without any concern for the people will not get worried and will want, in fact, to make the situation worse by violating the regulations, which would mean more spread of the virus. What I think you need to tell the opposition clearly is that initially we had imported cases, but of greater the local transmissions. And we don't know how the which people meet, we don't know. So that is a worrying phase in our fight against COVID. Not the imported ones. The imported ones, we could stem them at the border, put them into quarantine. But this now, there is in the population. The virus is in the population. So for anyone to suggest that this is to clamp down on opposition, which is also nonsense, of course, which is also nonsense. We are fighting against violence. The opposition in the past, under the pretense that they are demonstrating, have caused untold violence. On the 1st of August 2018, 14 to 16 January 2019, they caused violence. They even tried to attack here, to attack our motor vehicles here. And the targets were ZANU-PF members and their properties. But this clearly shows that we have an opposition which is embedded in violence. And no authority will stand up to that. So clearly now what is emerging from your question is, we now have an opposition which are, should we say, merchants of deaths in two respects. Causing violence, which will cause loss of life, and also spreading, enhancing, and helping to spread the virus of pandemic so that more deaths can occur. That will not happen. We will not allow it. And please send that message loud and clear to the opposition. We will not allow it. It's enough just to cause violence, but to now spread it, and we don't know if the population who has got it, to take measures or steps or activities that endanger the lives of Zimbabweans will not be tolerated at all. Which is why I made in my remark, there is no vacuum of authority in Zimbabwe. At any level, no vacuum of authority. Let it be understood clearly.
Once again, let it be understood. Questions? It's your opportunity to seek clarifications. Questions? Well, the leadership is here. You have a follow-up?
Yeah, follow-up.
Proceed.
Is these messages that are they getting to the population in the rural areas?
About preventive measures. Yes, we have tried. In fact, the rural population is more, should we say, more alert than what we find in the urban population. When we were importing the COVID, the rural population had got to a point where they arrest any new visitor coming into their village and would report that person to the authorities. That basically is that level of awareness in the rural areas. In the urban areas, it's another story. And basically it boils down to lack of discipline, lack of taking the COVID-19 virus seriously. They think it's a plaything. They think it will go away overnight. And as events show, it's, I think, here with us for some time. And we should not let down our defenses. We should never lower down our defenses.
Yes, my sister.
Critics of the government are insisting that the arrest of a freelance journalist and an opposition leader is to try and stop the protest they see from taking place.
To be honest with you, Haru, that question should be referred to the law enforcement agents. We are not law enforcement agents. Whatever allegations are against them, only the law enforcement agents would know. As far as we are concerned, the responsibility to investigate any alleged crime rests with the law enforcement agents. And I want to believe that in this particular case, in both cases where a journalist has been arrested, I want to believe that the allegations which are being investigated and which will be preferred against those journalists. The point I want to make, and this is the world over, journalists are not above the law. There is nothing in our constitution which says journalists can spread falsehoods. They can undermine legitimate governments and get away with it. It's not one of the aspects of freedom of information to spread lies and falsehoods. If there is any article in the Constitution to that effect, please point it out to me. You have no right as journalists. You are a respected profession. You make governments and authorities accountable. Please tell the truth. Don't spread falsehoods. And the law will protect you. But if you don't respect the law will also not respect you. Clear?
Yes. Another question. It's your opportunity to interface with leadership. This is the home of the ruling leadership. So, any burning issues, this is your opportunity.
This is the home of the Revolutionary Party.
Yes.
And we will not surrender our responsibility as a revolutionary party to hooligans. We will not do that. This country did not come cheap. The freedom did not come cheap. What we now take for granted, the freedom that we now enjoy, did not come cheap. It cost lives. And because of that, we will defend those freedoms. We will defend the sacrifices that our people made. This is why I want to repeat again, there is no vacancy or vacuum at any levels of the leadership in our country. Take note of that.
Thank you very much, Comrade Spokesperson. Thank you very much, Comrade Machacha. For those that did not see when I arrived, this is Comrade Machacha. He's the principal or the head of the party's ideological school and a political member.
Because there was a delay in the commencement of our conference, Comrade Dr. Parenyato is said to go to Parliament. Parliament is sitting today. So he has excused himself, and I'm happy that Comrade Machacha, in our party we don't like vacuums. The moment he noticed that there was a vacuum, he came forward.
Yes.
That's how we operate. There is no vacuum. Never will there be a vacuum.
Yes.
Never. Thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for